Do you know what sets you apart from your colleagues or other candidates looking for the same job? And many times we overlook this key ingredient because we're so focused on our technical skills, our experience, and our knowledge that soft skills often take a backseat. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 top skills that you must have to work in 2021. Hi, I'm Tammy, your guide to handling difficult conversations with confidence so that you can keep your relationships intact. Now, let's just talk hard skills for a minute so I can delineate the difference between hard and soft skills. If you want to become a nurse, for example, you need to become proficient at technical skills such as starting an IV, at completing assessments, at charting. These are all task skills that you can learn to do, but you need to also master how to relate to a patient, and that's the soft skill. Those technical skills are not transferable typically to another profession. Same thing if you're an accountant. You need to be really good at balancing worksheets and doing taxes. But it's how you relate to people that will determine whether or not people come to you for that technical expertise. So hard skills show off your understanding and experience in a particular topic. But it's your soft skills that will determine your ability to work within the organization to grow and to learn. Now, according to Oxbridge Academy, soft skills are more important than ever, and there's a few good reasons. I mean, first of all, we are seeing a lot of our technical skills being automated by artificial intelligence. So we're noticing this trend where those once hard-earned skills where you spent years in school learning and you have all these credentials on the wall that you're capable of doing something are now being replaced with artificial intelligence. And so your soft skills will become even more in demand. And that actually leads to their second point. Soft skill development is hard. Not everybody has the finesse. It can be learned, but when you come with it already, you are more valuable to the organization. Now, a Boston College, Harvard, and the University of Michigan conducted a study to determine what do I get back in an organization when I invest in soft skills. And their report showed that you get a 12% increase in productivity and a 250% return on investment. Now, those are important numbers. Oxford goes on to talk about how today's workplaces are collaborative, and as such, your soft skills will determine how well you get along with those teams. Now, SHRM produced a report where they talked about the effect of soft skills on teams and leaders, and what they identified is that leaders with the desirable soft skills actually produced a 30% increase in productivity within their teams. And of course, we know that soft skills increase the customer experience and that return customer, that loyal fan base. So just what are the top 3 soft skills for 2021? We're going to talk about those next. Now, before I share with you the top 3 skills, I'm curious to know, what do you think those top 3 skills would be? Drop them in the comments below and we'll see how close you are to the research that has been shared by LinkedIn's annual poll. Number 1 is problem solving, and problem solving is more than just here's a math and figure it out. It involves critical thinking, taking a look at the bigger picture, identifying what resources you have and you don't have, becoming creative in order to come up with new solutions outside of the box thinking, and innovation. All of these things tie into the problem solving capabilities that they are looking for in their employees. The second one is the ability to deal with complex and ambiguous situations. We don't always have all the information we need in order to move forward. And so what will you do when we don't have all of this? But also, what are you going to do when there's multiple stakeholders and a lot of different things at play in terms of resolving this problem? So how well are you equipped to deal with complex problems? Because as you noticed, when we take all that technical stuff out and artificial intelligence is doing the workhorse work, we're left to do the critical thinking. So when it comes to complexity and ambiguity, we're looking at several different things here and how the workplace is continually changing, but we have maybe an uncertain focus or ideas to what the future holds. When we look at complexity, we're looking at the number of factors that are involved that lead us to a decision in healthcare. There's a lot of complexity in terms of comorbidities, past medical history, their medication profile, what they're willing to take and not take, and then of course family dynamics and personal choices and environmental influences as well, social media. I don't have to go far. The biggest example that I could share with you right now is COVID. As a nurse, the speed at which things changed in our industry was fatiguing. There were multiple changes in terms of how we would approach our patients, what we knew about COVID, how it was spread, how we would protect ourselves, and those protocols were changing on the daily. And so we're always having to be flexible, which kind of lends and bleeds into from the first competency, to adapt to these new changes. But not everybody is able to sustain at the pace at which these changes come, and it can cause some frustrations among staff. And when we can't comfortably predict what's going to happen in the future, we get a little uncertain, and that can actually impact our ability to work collectively on a team. And then the third one, no surprise, it's always in the top list, communication skills. Now, we're not just talking having the ability to form words and articulate them. Communication skills is a massive subject all on its own. It is the nonverbal communication, such as tone of voice, pacing, timing. Where are you going to meet with people? It's about the use of space and time and touch. Like if someone's coming to you and they're having a problem and you're sitting behind an office desk and you're like this, we're not creating a very empathic situation. And so communication skills is so broad that we want to actually be looking at all of the finer details in terms of how we relate to self, how we relate to others, the methods in which we're communicating. This also includes digital, so your emails, your texting. This includes your in-person. This includes hybrid. Now, soft skills and focusing on the development of them will open up more doors to you than imaginable, and more doors to you than those credentials that hang on your office wall. Don't just rely on the educational credits and the courses that you're taking to advance your career. We want to spend some time focusing on those soft skills that are going to help progress your career faster. Now, when it comes to being adaptable and critically thinking through a scenario, I want to share with you a story with a nurse that I had worked with before, and we were in the intensive care unit, and her patient, she'd completed her morning assessment, she'd done her medications, and the patient was crying out in pain, asking for some more support. Now, the nurse was very rigid in her thoughts, and she's like, I've done my assessment, I've given you pain meds, and she actually said to the patient, you can't be in pain because I already gave you your meds. Now, that's a very fixed mindset, and what organizations are looking for is a growth mindset. And so she needed a little nudging and maybe suggested to her that she conduct another assessment because something's not working and she might have to advocate for more pain medication or a different type of management. And begrudgingly, she went in there, but she had already effectively shut the patient down with her nonverbals, her tone of voice, her word choice, her accusing demeanor. And so the patient actually waited for the doctor to come back in to have a conversation with them. So you can see how impactful just having soft skills and being aware of how a situation may not always go the way you anticipate it, but being flexible and adaptable enough to think outside the box that just because a medication was given does not mean it addresses the problem, and to realize there's so much more that goes on in a scenario to be open to that. Now, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get the next video when it's released. But if you're looking for more intimate, more support, join me over in the private Facebook group. You'll find the link below in the description box. I also go live in there, and it's your chance and your opportunity to engage with me directly. Now, every professional needs to have access to resources to help develop their soft skills training. It's so crucial that it could make or break your career. In the description box below, you'll see that I have free 10 safe conversational starters download. That will give you exact scripts that you can use to match up with the 10 most offensive behaviors that we see in the workplace. This will elevate your ability to communicate in an empathic way, but also demonstrate your ability and your agility to work with people when they are stressed out and calm things down. So go ahead and pick that up today. And if you are struggling to get out from underneath the weight of chronic conflict or workplace bullying, or you're a leader and you want to bully-proof your leadership so that you don't have to go through the stress and strain of going through a claim of being a bully or a harasser, book your epiphany call with me below. I have a program that is designed to help you get out from underneath that so you can reclaim your reputation, get your career back on track, and get back to living the peaceful, productive life that you know that you can live. As always, my friends, you're only one conversation away.